Okay, Donnie here from Global Crisis. We're going to talk about the culmination of the drawings up to this point to be able to have some kind of reference, visual reference to gauge our understanding of these drawings. This is the first drawing that we discussed concerning the skeletal understanding of returning to the infinity symbol at the top, the portal symbol of infinity, the great unknown, the void, not knowing who we are, and starting the process towards self-identification through allowing the detoxification of the foods that we're eating. The canon of this process inside the body is this drawing, starting at the void and internalizing creation through the process of the infinity symbol. Okay, back to an identification of the self. Okay. This drawing shows how it influences our thought, the way we think. Once we've started this process, we allow our food to enter into our blood, first influencing our thought. So we're gonna, we're gonna be cleansing our thoughts and radiating positive thoughts because our blood has been purified. This next drawing shows the level of dissension, 9 levels that we discussed, okay, and shows the bipolarity of the body in terms of the direction we need to achieve in our life by answering the question to be or not to be in alignment with natural law. Here's a yin and yang symbol also manifesting the balance in life. Okay. Once we have identified the individual, okay, not dividing duality, not making a separation and realizing that we need to bring it to the one, which is essentially the infinity symbol and the universal mind sphere, okay? And then we need to understand the relationship of the spheres of consciousness so that we can create this uniform multicultural thread here in all the philosophies and religions of the world to get back to the infinity, to get back to that cycle. So with all of these drawings, this cycle, I can break into it at any point. I can go into some of the past drawings, but it's all correlating with this idea that I've presented in order if you go from the bottom of the list where I started. But you can break into an infinity at any point and you're still going to be in the train of thought. So individual, when I broke it up and looked at it, not even researching, just looking at the word, I saw not dividing duality. So not making a separation from the world within and the world without is really what we've talked about with the relationships of the spheres of consciousness, the Hopi understanding of the symbiotic relationship taken from a Chaco Canyon cave drawing, showing the circle that unites this entire process, the cross that we talked about, the human perfection, okay, that unites with this cross in the drawing that I showed you on the symbiosis that I'll show you next. The line of creation that has the circle uniting with the person and the plant, meaning we fuse with natural law, which is what these quantum physicists are trying to get to, and Charles Haanel has articulated on from 18th century. Up here is all the people that are walking down the path. Here's the intercession point, which is the lightning you see here, where either we are going to make this decision coming up in 2012 to be in alignment with natural law, okay, or not to be, okay. This is their depiction that I showed you of the extraterrestrial panasporic possibility of intervention, in which the Sumerian texts further explain the Sumerian tablets. Okay, it's one idea. The symbiosis of returning is like the ocean down here, okay? Returning to a knowledge of who we are is kind of like the ocean. We described the descension from infinity into the balance of the ocean, into the balance illuminated by the sun, giving us enlightenment with natural law, the balance. This is the yin and yang balance. Perfect human was right here, the symbol that I told you about with the cross. Okay. That cross represents, with the circle around it, the completion of the human being, essentially, internally making the connection with the external infinity sign up here that's in the canon process, canon of man diagrams. I told you about the moon located right here in the Hopi symbology of the directions. The moon in the middle here is what I told you has gravitational pull on the body, which is mostly water. I mean, we're like a sponge filled up with water, essentially. Depending on how much water we're drinking, that's another thing we need to research intimately to know how much a body weight needs water. In Japanese culinary art, they drink bancha tea, which is a twig tea. It's very subtle and sweet, and it's good for stimulating the digestive system, which can be looked at as that spiral that goes throughout the body. The Hopi myth of creation, number 8 here, which is the infinity symbol. But gradually there were those who forgot the commands of Sotuknang and the Spider Woman to respect their creator. More and more they used the vibratory centers of their body for earthly purposes, forgetting that their primary force or purpose was to carry out the plan of the Creator. And when I go to the last one, the 21 on the Hopi myth of creation, so the people went down to live with the ant people. This could be a reference to the Chaco Canyon drawings of panasporic intervention. Okay, this is what it looked like. Seems kind of self-explanatory, but whether or not it's the most important priority to understand, I don't know right now. I think this one is more important because it shows that symbiotic relationship, but who am I to say which one's more important? So the people went down to live with the ant people, okay? When they were all safe and settled, Taiwa commanded Sotuknang to destroy the world, okay? So this is consistent with a lot of different flood myths are all over the world in traditions of religion. Sotuknang destroyed it by fire. That's also consistent with Sodom and Gomorrah, the idea. Because the Fire Clan had been its leaders. He rained fire upon it. He opened up the volcanoes, okay? Fire came from above and below and all around until the earth, the waters, the air, all were one element. Okay, so we talked about the elements: fire, water, earth, air. And there was nothing left except the people safe inside the womb of the earth. Okay? This was the end of Topela, the first world. And they prophesied this whole 2012 thing as well. But it's interesting that uh, nothing left except the people safe inside the womb of the earth, which we talked about was located right here where the moon is, signifying that need for a dissension, gravity, into the symbiotic relationship with identification of the self through eating the proper foods and cooking them in consistency with time. You know, what a valuable resource. People say, oh, I'm just buying time. I was thinking, man, that must be pretty expensive. So the next drawing that ties into the alignment of the spheres of consciousness has to do with the idea of cleansing the mind and rehabilitating it so that we can make the connection with the universal mind, creator, which is a symbiosis with natural law that creator has created. Creator has many different names that people have given it culturally after the split and diversification of linguistics that happened in all mythologies and in the idea of creator confounding the languages, the worlds separated in the people created different cultures that are all bringing a uniform thread. Isn't this exciting? Of all of these ideas, there's a uniform thread through all the different religions and philosophies. So that is the alignment of the spheres drawing, and right now that's all the drawings that have culminated to this point, and we'll study them and see where it takes us next. Thank you.